I switched brokerages in June of this year, and whenever a realtor announces a move, you usually hear about everything that's supposedly going to become better. Better technology, better support, better economics, better opportunities. But you rarely hear about what becomes harder. Changing brokerages creates disruption. You have new systems to learn, new relationships to build, and a lot of decisions about where to focus your attention. So this isn't going to be a testimonial about why every agent should follow me to Real Brokerage. It's an honest explanation of what attracted me to Real, how I evaluated the decision, and what has required more work since I joined. I had already been a realtor for more than 10 years when I made the move. I wasn't looking for a brokerage to build my business for me. I wanted an environment that made sense for the direction in which I was already trying to take my business. I'm comfortable with technology. I like building systems, creating content, and developing my own brand. I also wanted more freedom to experiment with new ideas without feeling confined by the traditional boundaries of a physical brokerage office. Real's cloud-based technology-driven model appealed to that part of me. But technology alone wasn't enough reason to switch. Every brokerage has technology. The more important question is whether its model supports the way you actually want to work. The collaborative side of Real also interested me. The company has a large network of agents sharing information, training, resources, and business strategies. My partner Roland had been with Real longer and understood the model much more deeply than I did. That gave me access to someone I trusted who could explain not only the attractive parts, but also how the brokerage functioned in practice. That distinction matters. The person who sponsors you into a brokerage can tell you what the company offers. A good sponsor should also help you understand how to access it, which resources are relevant, and what you should focus on first. But I didn't make the decision based only on someone else's experience. I needed to decide whether the underlying model worked for my business. Real's financial structure was a part of that evaluation. There are opportunities connected to revenue sharing and equity, and I understand why agents find those programs exciting. But I didn't want to make a major business decision based on income that might never materialize or stock whose future value cannot be guaranteed. The question I kept coming back to was this: if I never earned any meaningful revenue share and the equity opportunities never became financially significant, would I still want to be at this brokerage? And for me, the answer was yes. The technology, flexibility, economics, and collaborative network still made sense without assuming an ideal outcome from the additional programs. That became one of the most important tests. If a brokerage only looks attractive when every projection works perfectly, you probably aren't evaluating the brokerage. You're evaluating a best-case scenario. I also had to consider the cost of changing. A brokerage switch doesn't automatically improve your business. Your clients don't suddenly appear because you change the logo and your email signature. Your marketing doesn't become more effective overnight. You still need to generate business, provide excellent service, and complete transactions. There's also a practical transition. You need to learn new systems, understand new procedures, update your materials, and determine who to contact when you need help. Even for someone comfortable with technology, that takes time and attention. And that leads to the first thing that became harder for me: focus. Real offers a lot to explore. There are training sessions, technology platforms, agent communities, revenue sharing information, equity programs, and conversations happening across a very large network. The opportunity can be energizing, but it can also become distracting. When you join, it's tempting to try to understand and participate in everything immediately. But every hour spent exploring the brokerage is an hour that isn't being spent serving a client, following up with a lead, or improving the core business that supports you. I've had to be deliberate about separating what is immediately useful from what can wait. The second challenge is that flexibility comes with responsibility. A cloud-based brokerage gives you room to operate independently, but it also requires you to take more ownership of your development. You need to ask questions. You need to find the right training. You need to build relationships with the people who can help. You need to decide how you'll structure your day when there isn't necessarily a physical office creating that rhythm around you. Some agents will find that freedom motivating. Others may discover that what they really need is more structure, frequent in-person supervision, or a managing broker they can sit across from regularly. Neither preference is wrong, but they are different working environments, and agents should be honest about which one helps them perform at their best. challenge is that the quality of your experience can depend on the community you build around yourself. A brokerage can provide thousands of agents, extensive training, and multiple channels of support. That doesn't automatically mean you'll feel connected. You still need to participate. You still need to identify the people whose experience is relevant to your business. And you need a sponsor, team, or local community that remains helpful after you've joined, not simply during the conversation leading up to your decision. The fourth challenge is avoiding the temptation to make the brokerage itself the center of your business. Revenue sharing can encourage agents to tell other realtors about Real. There's nothing inherently wrong with sharing a business opportunity you genuinely believe in. But if that becomes more important than serving clients, improving your skills, and completing transactions, your priorities can become distorted. I don't want my move to Real to pull my attention away from the people who built my business in the first place. My clients still come first. The brokerage should support that responsibility, not replace it. So, do I regret moving to Real? No. At this stage, I believe the move fits the direction I want to take my business. I value the flexibility, the technology, the collaborative environment, and the ability to build something that extends beyond my next individual transaction. But I'm also learning. I haven't been at Real long enough to pretend that I've experienced every part of the model or that I can predict exactly what the move will mean several years from now. And my experience doesn't prove that Real is the right brokerage for another agent. If you're highly self-directed, comfortable with technology, and willing to build relationships inside a cloud-based environment, Real may offer some meaningful advantages. If you need daily in-person structure, expect the brokerage to supply your clients, or want someone else to create your momentum, it may not feel like the right environment. The purpose of sharing my experience here isn't to convince you to make the same decision I did. It's to show you that a brokerage can change, should be evaluated as a complete business decision, including the opportunities, the disruption, and the additional responsibility if you're going to change brokerages. So if you're considering Real, ask yourself this: would the model still improve my business if I remove the most exciting financial projections from the presentation? If the answer is yes, you may have found something worth exploring. If the answer is no, keep asking questions. If you're researching Real Brokerage and comparing your options, visit Get Real, Get Right. And if you want to speak with us directly, reach out. We'll share what we know, acknowledge what we don't know, and help you decide whether the model fits the business you're actually trying to build. No pressure, no hard sell. Just a more honest conversation about what changing brokerages can and cannot do for your business.